Oh, brother, this guy's...
What's up, emo geeks? Welcome back to another episode of Feedback Friday. This week we're joined with an amazing guest from Sundays for Dogs.
Sundays food for dogs.
Sundays is some of the best dog food you can get.
Adrian Gray is behind some of your favorite emails in your inbox. He's here to break down Sundays for Dogs email strategy and give a sneak peek about their upcoming rebrand. All right, sit back, pet a dog, and let's get right into this.
Hey everyone, great to be here. I'm Adrian. I'm creative director. I've been working in email for almost 2 decades now. Do a lot of other things outside of email in the digital space, creative direction, but email has always, stolen part of my heart, and I'm always going to keep working in it.
All right, so we got some emails from Sundays, an amazing pet brand, kind of a D2C brand, bringing some interesting food to people's dogs. I'm really impressed with all the different touch points. It's a very high touch point type of campaign, so I thought we could walk through some promotional emails, look at some confirmation emails, and then maybe some kind of post-purchase emails as well.
Amazing.
Sound good?
Let's do it.
Sweet. All right. Well, this first one is a Black Friday email. We're seeing this banner. This is very trendy. We covered this in one of our design trend webinars, but very fun way to sort of bring in some final hour urgency into the email design without, taking over the entire email. Yeah, I really like this one. What stood out to you?
Yeah, this one's an interesting one. With Black Friday, we really wanted to get out of the way of the sale. This is the biggest discount that the brand is going to be putting out for the whole year. We want to make sure people know what it is. 60% of it is big. And I think this is the last one of the flow. There's probably a handful of emails that went out. Black Friday just keeps starting earlier and earlier in November. So we wanted to just make sure that people knew this is their last chance, final hours, this is the discount. And then if they want to scroll down, we're just hitting them with some of the benefits. It's 100% human-grade dog food, 0% synthetics. We're kind of having a little bit of a play with that percentage. And then leaning on a quote, these are always real customer quotes from people. This was a wonderful one because it's hitting a lot of those benefits that we try to elevate. And just let people know that what they can expect if they want to join Sundays and start feeding this to their dogs.
Yeah, that's pretty unique. It's good to see this kind of review or testimonial inside of a promotional email. I feel like it sort of backs up that message, provides some value to customers. But overall, yeah, super impressed with this one. Good use of live text, some really nice hover effects here on that button. I really enjoy that one. So I really like this one. Bring in the balance of illustration and then also, the product photography, really cool, clean, soft lines. So I'm a big fan on this one. Anything with this, little call out here on the bottom? I feel like this, I've seen this in a couple different emails, either a fun fact or something.
We were doing this in pretty much all of our email footers, just some sort of fun fact, giving people a reason to always go to the bottom of the email. It's kind of like an Easter egg. You never know what's going to be down there. Sometimes it's related to the food. Sometimes it's just a fun fact about dogs. Just another little surprise and delight moment for customers.
Very cool. Yeah, I feel like those little details really add up to me. And when people talk about what a really good emails is, I feel like that is kind of it. The details that kind of are outside of just the overall promotional message. So
yeah, that's the same thing with just the that final hours GIF. It doesn't have to be a GIF, but we wanted to add that little bit of extra attention. The hover states on the button. Anything that we can do can just push it a little bit further. That's always our goal.
Cool. Anything you would change on this one? Any kind of, I know sometimes email marketers get strapped with time, or I know Black Friday is kind of crazy, but I feel like, this being part of a big flow, people had a lot of chances to learn about the deal. Anything about this one that you might change or no?
I don't know. I think this one's been really successful for us. We did something very similar last year. I think more than anything, we've just been playing around with different imagery. As we're updating the brand, we're just expanding that library. We know that our images with dogs perform really well. I think that's something that we didn't do as much last year in a similar campaign. So that's why you're seeing this little guy here.
People like dogs. Good takeaway.
No surprise.
Nice. Okay, well, we can transition to another type of email communication. I think this one was sent a little while ago, but I really like the mix again of illustration and some product photography. I know you guys have newsletters, but this is also kind of maybe this helpful tips type email that I thought that really stood out to me. Could you explain a little bit about this one?
Yeah, what's nice about this is we really wanted to explain, from the point of view of our customers, how their dog interacts with the food, how they feel about it, but wanted to back that up with some of the reasons why. Because people can explain that, their dogs with allergies are having better reactions to it, or their dogs love the taste, or whatever those things are, but they might not understand why that is. So it's kind of a nice balance between the customer perspective and then kind of a more technical description of why that is the case. So in the first one, we're talking about digestive issues, and we're solving that with the pumpkin and chicory root that's in the recipe, and we're trying to visualize that too, just making it really clear. A lot of the times with email, we're thinking about, are people going to read every single word? Absolutely not. So how do we make it more scannable so they can find the content that's relevant to them?
Yeah, I love this one. I love when people actually use illustrations or again product photography to back up that overall message. It's not just like a stock photography type of image. It really makes sense and kind of brings the whole message together, which I really like. And then I like this section. I mean, I think this email is really cool, just talking about the different maybe pain points or benefits of the product. And then, hitting people with this 20% offer down here. It's really nice. And I really like this line, calling out that, about the demand over here and how people may, have potentially a shipping delay or something. So,
yeah, that was something that we put in our emails over the summer. We had so much demand and it was kind of impacting the customer experience. So we wanted to get ahead of that and make sure that we communicated, set expectations from the jump.
All right. Well, we can walk over to some kind of purchase emails. I do not have a dog, so I named our fictional dog Inbox, which I thought was maybe smart or clever of me.
Very
so I'm
cute.
trying to put that in there. But yeah, I really like the language here, making it a little bit different. To me, I feel like order confirmations are such an opportunity that for different levels of personalization or some additional communication that I think a lot of brands are sort of leaving money on the table by not adding some additional details to this. So it's really cool to see your brand sort of work on this. So do you want to maybe walk through this one?
Yeah. The thing about transactional emails, I agree, a lot of them are not that interesting to look at, especially as everyone's kind of trended to using Shopify. They'll use those default templates and they're not adding any thought or effort or love to them. But they're some of the most opened emails that you can send. People care about the information that's in here, and it's a moment to say a little bit more. You kind of get into some restrictions around not having marketing specific messages in here, but it doesn't mean that you can't do something a little bit extra. So yeah, we take a lot of care with the copy that goes in here. We try to keep everything as short as possible, but still have it be that little bit of delightfulness and as clear as possible. So fetching your order is, I think, a prime example of us doing that. We added these kind of check marks throughout the entire transactional journey to let people know what they can expect as they're going through, where they stand with their order. And then just providing visuals. That's the other thing that we wanted to do here is not only do you have a written description of what you're going to be expecting, but you can see what you're going to be expecting to get in the mail. Again, it's all about scannability. If I'm opening this, I want to make sure, is that price right? If it's a subscription, is that cadence right? It's all in there, easy to find.
Yeah, I really like kind of the layout here, how it's kind of has the rounded borders again. Feels very much like that sort of receipt. And like you said, small details like adding this kind of tracker here. I think it lets people know, they feel more trustworthy, like that, that you're actually working on their order. And, there's, again, have this email us here so that if they have any questions, they can reach out. What I like to see in post-purchase emails or triggered emails is making people feel like they made the right decision and get excited about their order. So I think this email does a really good job doing that. All right, well, here's the next one here. Here we have your order has shipped, having some tracking information with a big CTA right up top. I really like that. And then again, I think just pulling in some additional information here, letting people know if you have different questions or if you have any issues.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. The primary goal here is people are going to click that button. That's what they care about. So we put it right up top, easy to find, a little bit of a summary of their order. They don't need all the same receipt details in that first email. So just condensing that. And then we know that a lot of customers have questions. So before they reach out to the CX team, we want to get ahead of it, answer some of them, let them know that they have complete control over their subscription. They can, if they need to change the ship date, no problem. If they're moving, no problem. Everything's available to them.
I'm not sure if you did like customer interviews, but I feel like you think a lot about the process and the end user and how they would interact with an email, which I really like to see. So a very nice job with that.
Absolutely. The customer is the forefront of our mind in every single email that we're creating. We have to understand where they are in the journey, what their problems are. Like if you don't intimately know what your customer is thinking, then you need to do some work before you even think about email.
All right, and here it is. Our order has arrived. Some nice little copy here, making people feel okay about their purchase, maybe sitting out for a little bit, bringing in some additional information. And I really liked kind of scrolling down. It has like almost like an onboarding onto this this type of email, which I have not really ever seen before. So very cool here.
Yeah, this is interesting because it's kind of a unique experience because of our product. Once you receive that order of the dog food, your transition starts. And the transitions get really complicated, and we want to make sure that people understand how to go about it. Even the feeding instructions are in there so that customers know how much that they should be feeding their dog. Because Sundays is an air dried dog food. It's not as intuitive as kibble or fresh. So if you're coming from one of those other food types, it might be a little surprising. Like you're feeding a lot less to your dog. And then transition's interesting. We recommend a 10-day transition period, and it's a little bit different for everyone, but it's really important to go through that. So we wanted to write again from the transactional email, make that clear. This is something that's going to be repetitive in not only this email, but within the box itself, on the bag. I think there's a lot of things there's a piece of information that's really important. Repeating it is not a bad thing. We don't want people to miss it, so that's why that lives here.
Yeah, really smart. And I feel like this is a good place. People are sometimes nervous about their dog or nervous what to do, the right thing or how they should do it. So I think providing this really friendly tone of communication and again, letting people know that, hey, if you're having any issues, definitely email us. So I think just that hand holding and kind of being there for the customer all through this process is really great to see. So
yeah, this is also that transition module is a dynamic component of this email. So you'll only get it with your first order. And then after that, you've transitioned your dog. You don't need that information anymore, so it disappears. So just trying to think of different ways to build one email, but having it serve multiple purposes.
Yeah, really smart. I feel like all the other emails I've seen, like around your subscriptions, letting people know ahead of time that it's going to be renewed or any shipping delays. It's really great to see like that, again, communication that's very customer focused. So great work. All right. And then a very interesting email. I have not seen one like this either. A checking in kind of post-purchase email from this doctor, which is pretty interesting to see. I really like this little fun illustration. But again, just making a person feel good about their purchase if they have any questions type of thing. So what was the thought behind this one?
Yeah, we went, I think we actually tested a couple of versions of this email. One was more of a traditional plain text email. This is Dr. Tori founded Sundays, and she's kind of the face of the brand. She pops up in a lot of different touch points throughout the customer journey. This is part of the post-purchase welcome flow. So people are transitioning their dogs, and transitioning can get complicated. For some dogs, it's smooth. Other ones, it can get literally really messy. So we wanted to give people a heads up, get ahead of those questions. That we have a really comprehensive blog with a lot of different content. So we wanted to elevate those articles. What's nice too about like non-traditional plain text email, doing something a little bit more designed like this is that scannability. Again, like you can just open this email if you don't read every word, but you realize, oh, there's that article like that's relating to my experience. I can click on that, go there right away. And it's also, we're kind of using this as another opportunity to introduce Dr. Tori to the customer. If they don't know exactly who she is, this is a time for them to understand why she even founded the company, that she exists, and then ending with, again, an opportunity to reach out to us. The company has a really strong sense of customer service and always want to be available to people. So we reiterate that a lot, like email, phone, text, anytime can answer your questions, especially during the transition period when we know that things can get a little more tricky.
Yeah, that's great to see. I feel like it would be awesome to see that in some other products that need some hand-holding or something.
Yeah.
And this is a great fun fact as well. Very good to know that I'm now smarter because of it. But yeah, I love this one, especially like you said. I think this styled type of template is kind of one of my favorite templates because I don't know, something about plain text, it doesn't really always work for me. So I like something styled that's like sort of more of a letter format with like a signature and image down here. Captures my attention, lets me know a little bit more about the brand. I kind of feel like I'm a little bit more connected to it. So, alrighty, and this last one, this one was sent in a little while ago. This one was submitted to the site, and I just thought it was really smart, fantastic email. One of the most popular emails on Really Good Emails, to be honest. Just a really good attention-grabbing headline here, and then a call to action to leave a review on your site. So.
Yeah, this is a really fun one. Lot more visual. Nice to have some of those moving elements. We're having fun with the copy. Like this is checking a lot of boxes for us, and kind of lives at that. They seem to be happy with the product. Let's get them in and get those quotes that we can start funneling back into the rest of our emails, and then letting them know that we do have this referral program. You can give 50%, get $50. It's a pretty great reward, and just want to make sure that it's elevated. People know about it.
Yeah, fantastic. I think honestly, a perfect email in general. I think it really does the job that you want it to do very well. And I think this whole flow from, getting people into the brand and then letting them kind of know throughout, and then having this last email as like a final touch is really awesome to see. So fantastic. Anything else about Sundays that you'd like to share?
I think I'll just say that we were talking about this at the beginning. We just launched our rebrand a couple of days ago. So if you like these emails, you're going to love all of the new emails that we've created. I'll start getting those up onto the site so more people can see them. But we're really proud of the work that we've done over the past few months.
Nice. Is there like one thing that you kind of went into that with a thought around, or?
The whole project, we all started with focusing on the brand positioning. Why do we exist? What do our customers care about? Are we differentiated in the market? That floated into the redesign. So we changed everything about it through every single touch point. I think it's a rare opportunity for any brand to do a complete overhaul of all of their emails altogether. But a rebrand is one of those instances where it becomes a necessity. So taking a step back really in a really meaningful way that adds value to the experience is just really cool to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking through us through these today. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
I love Sunday's brand. Keep an eye out for those new emails. Definitely a brand to watch. Some fantastic, well thought out emails. So thanks again.
Yeah, thanks so much, Matt.